I have Blackout stuck in my head now, and I'm not going to be able to get it out.
The song from the movie.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Blackout.
I think it's a good song. To be honest,
It's
I don't
alright.
really
It wasn't my
remember it.
favorite.
What was your favorite?
What was my favorite? I don't know if I had a favorite.
I think Abuela's was like...
Abuela's was
Emosh. But like really good. I also love the way it was filmed.
Yeah. Oh, I think I liked... They're like all in the back. They're like in this back room and they're like... I can't remember the words to it. And the girl from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
She's like singing her part and she's like...
Is it the salon scene?
No.
Is it the pool scene?
I'm
not sure then.
It's near the end of the film.
Oh.
I quite like that one.
Oh, I know.
She's like, my dad is Cuban.
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher it. I don't know the words.
Yeah. I know what one you're talking about.
Okay.
When they're all like depressed because of the blackout, and then the 3 salon ladies are like, nobody's coming to say goodbye to us, so let's...
Yeah, you know they're girlfriends, right?
Who?
I don't know their names. The girl from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and the older salon one.
In real life?
In the show, in the movie, they were dating.
Oh, I thought that was her mom.
No.
Oh. They didn't really convey that very well, to be honest.
No, they didn't.
I think they could have done a better job.
They opened the scene with them like cuddling bed, but again, that could have been like...
I think Judah mentioned it, but I missed it. Yeah. And then other than that, they don't seem like they're together. Like, it literally looks like she's the shop owner, and these are like the 2 girls that she's taken in to take care of.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Because I read on like... It could have been Twitter. And they were like, yeah, they're girlfriends. I'm like...
The Brooklyn Nine-Nine girl is bi in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Is she bi in real life?
I think so.
Okay. That's cool.
She just had a baby.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. Or she just got married.
Those are kind of big differences.
She hit one of the milestones.
Okay. One of the major ones.
Yeah.
I really liked the pool scene. Other than Vanessa's verse.
Oh, yeah. Vanessa's face annoys me.
Same.
I don't know what it is. I think she reminds me of... Oh, my God. She reminds me of the girl from Riverdale.
Oh, Veronica.
Yeah.
It's funny that her name's Vanessa and
I don't like Veronica.
I don't really like Veronica either. Like, the character. I feel like I was like... Oh, yeah, like, she's pretty. Like, I like her, like, at the beginning of the movie. And then she's just negative, like, the whole movie. And I'm like, no, I don't like you anymore. Like, literally, when Sunny comes in at that song that you were talking about, Sunny comes in and is all like, yeah, but we can't do shit because we're immigrants, basically. And then, literally, Vanessa's like, yes, he's right. Let's be negative. And I'm like...
No.
And then that's when... Uznavi comes in. I find it so funny that his name's Uznavi.
Because it's U.S. Navy.
It's U.S. Navy.
Yeah.
And that's how he got his name. I think that's so funny. Like, things like that were really well done in the movie.
Uznavi.
But, yeah. And the kid is really cute.
Sunny.
No, I like him too. He's just funny. But his, like, actual kid in it is funny. Sorry, spoilers. Probably should have said that.
Most people have seen
ahead of time. I'll add, like, a little thing at the beginning. I'll add a little thing at the beginning saying spoilers.
Also, we haven't really given any, like, plot.
Yeah, other than he has a kid. Which is kind of a...
I suspected that in the beginning.
I did too, but...
If it's not all of those children, one of them is his kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I also didn't think that they were in wherever he was.
Oh, I did.
Did you?
I fully thought they were in Dominican.
I thought it was like some sort of like weird imagination storytelling scene.
I also didn't know that, like, they were from Dominican before I watched the movie. So then I watched it, and of course I'm going to Dominican, and I was like, hey! I was like, I'm going there!
I'm going there soon!
Mm-hmm.
It was good, though. I liked the music.
It was good. I think I give it like a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed it. I might watch it again, mainly for the music. There were some emotion parts.
Yeah.
And some well-written characters.
Lynn was extra.
And then literally I feel like you could have taken Vanessa completely out of the story and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like, her, I don't think she really added to the story, personally.
I don't think so either. She was kind of just, like, the hot, like, miserable girl.
She also talks shit about the Heights the entire movie. So it just bothered me that she, like, talks shit the whole time. And then at the end is like, yeah, I'll stay.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, you know what? I'll stay. Because I found a little bit of inspiration from a spray can rag.
Yeah.
I was like,
okay, girly.
Yeah, I was like, nah. I was like, I can't.
Yeah, I think they got nominated for some Emmys.
Emmys, I think, is TV, no?
Isn't Emmy, like, entertainment and stuff?
I thought
because
it was just
Bo
TV
Burnham
shows.
got nominated for an Emmy.
Oh. Okay.
So unless it's, like, TV specials, maybe.
Maybe.
Or is that
I'm trying to think what else it could have been. But the only other thing I can think of is Oscar.
I doubt that's getting an Oscar.
Let's see.
You see what they got. Blackout, blackout.
Tony. They were nominated for a Tony.
What's a Tony?
Let's find out.
It might be musical awards.
Distinguished Achievement in American Theater.
Ah.
That's all it is. So it's like still broad. American Theater Wing and are intended to recognize excellence in plays and musicals staged on Broadway.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's more specific to like musicals and Broadway stuff.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
It was good. It was alright.
It was alright. I think it would have been better as a Broadway show.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I would have enjoyed it more, I think, had it been a Broadway show.
That's true. I bet they will, probably, knowing Lynn. He'll be like, oh.
Lynn knows how to rake in the dough, so...
Yeah.
Lynn will do anything,
He'll be
pretty
like,
much. Yeah.
I can smell the money.
Yeah, Lynn... He's an interesting bird, that one.
Yeah. Lynn kind of gives off the same energy as Jeff Bezos, but in theater.
That's funny. I don't really know what Jeff Bezos is like as a person. Like, is he very show-offy?
I think so.
I mean, he built a rocket that looks like a giant dick.
Man, when I was getting my nails done by Morgan the other day, I told her about his penis rocket ship, and she's like, that's not true. There's no way that's true.
You're like, it's true.
It's true. And I showed her a picture, and there's a video
of it in the air.
But then the woman's like, Jeff, you're an astronaut now. And
okay.
And he's standing there. like really surprised, and he has a cowboy hat on.
Why? Why the cowboy hat?
I don't know why the
it's
twist.
It's so extra.
It's Jeff Bezos.
Fuck. I
don't understand.
I love that he wore the cowboy hat to launch a rocket. Like, it's so...
Did he himself go in the dick ship?
That's what I thought.
Or did he watch it take off?
No, I think he went in it.
Good for him.
He really owned that dick ship.
He really owned that dick ship.
I'm going to call it the dick ship from now on.
He's such a piece of shit.
I think anybody in that position with that amount of money is...
dangerous.
Oh, yeah. He can do anything he wants. Ever. Yeah.
The
man launched a dick into space.
Morgan was saying that he wants to, like, put Amazon warehouses on, like, Mars or something.
Why am I not surprised? And then, let me guess, he'll give you a job, but you have to pay your way to Mars.
Yeah.
Fucking... I just can't. It's so wild to me to think about.
Jeffrey Bezos.
Just in general. Like, him in general. And he's not with his wife anymore, right?
Now he's a single cowboy.
That has a dick ship. Maybe he's gay. Yeah. Or bi.
Maybe he's a bi king.
He's a... I don't know if I'd call him a king. I don't know if the bi community wants him as, like, their king.
We don't want him.
So...
That's true. What's the jester?
Pardon?
You know, the little fool that dances for the king and queen.
Oh,
He can be the bi jester.
Yeah, he can be the bi jester. He just does shit with a lot of money, and it entertains us.
Yeah.
Like the dick ship.
Like the dick ship and the cowboy hat.
Like, think about how many people the dick ship went through, and they still were like, yeah, you know what, that's a great design.
Too many people greenlit that project, and they should have stopped it the moment they saw a dick and balls.
Maybe he just is, like, surrounded by yes men that are like, yes, yes,
well, he needs
yes.
to stop. I bet his wife was a no man.
And that's why they divorced.
And that's why he's like, you know what?
Do they have kids together?
I don't think so.
Jeff Bezos doesn't seem like the type that would like kids.
He doesn't seem like he has time for children.
Not only time, but, like, he just seems like a child hater.
It's because he's bald.
No. I have nothing against bald men.
Jeff, the only thing I have against bald men is that they're associated with Jeff Bezos. That's it.
Like, when you see a bald man, you're like, I think of Jeff
reminder.
Bezos.
Every time you see an Amazon delivery, Jeffrey
Bezos.
Bezos.
Jeffrey Bezos. I don't know the rest of the song.
I don't know. It's just like CEO entrepreneur, born in 1964.
Jeffrey Bezos.
Yeah.
Literally, like, I don't want to support, like, Amazon because of all the shit that Amazon's done. But it's so convenient sometimes.
I know, it's bad.
And sometimes I can't find things anywhere else.
Thankfully, I've stopped.
Yeah. I definitely don't get as much as I used to.
I really want to cancel my Prime subscription because I don't want to be associated with that man anymore. Because also he's treating his Amazon workers like shit.
Yeah, I heard that too.
But, I don't know.
I almost applied there.
As an Amazon warehouse worker.
Yeah.
They got COVID.
Yeah, the whole place got
the whole
COVID.
Squad.
The
whole squad's got COVID.
The whole warehouse.
Yeah.
Literally, I think it was Eva's mom that told me about it, and she was like, please tell Shayna to spray all of her packages anytime they come in, just in case she's ordering from there. We were doing that anyway, but... Yeah, it's a yikes. I mean, you get paid above minimum wage to be a warehouse worker there.
Do you?
Yeah, you get like $17
You get, like, no
an
breaks.
hour. Yeah, no breaks. I mean, besides the legal ones, they have to give you.
Yeah.
But other than that, to be fair, literally every minimum wage job is like that.
Yeah.
So...
I know.
It's hard because, like, they're like, oh, it's basically, like, slave labor. But if you look at any place that's minimum wage working, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Like, you're getting paid the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You get the bare minimum of breaks. You're not allowed to sit down.
That is what it's like in North America. I don't know what it's like in other countries. Because I've heard some horror stories.
Of it being worse?
Not in North America.
Yeah. In North America, and even, like...
I still think it's wild that you can go to a cashier in England and then see them sitting down because it's normal.
Yeah.
But
like
you can't sit down here as a cashier.
No.
Why?
Because it makes you, quote-unquote, look lazy.
That's so silly.
I don't get it either. Like...
It's uncomfy.
Yeah.
I don't want to stand for, like, God knows how many hours.
Yeah.
Like, our friend Britt, she works at a pharmacy. She's just stand.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
The shit I could tell you about Tim Hortons is on another level.
I have so much dirt on
I think
my
I'm
past.
still legally not, like, allowed to speak about
Technically, I still legally can't say anything about my past job, but I've definitely told my friends.
Which one?
The hotel.
Okay. The major one.
The major one.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, you're also very close. Like, I quit at Tim Hortons. How long ago now? 2018.
Damn.
We're almost into 2022.
I doubt you're
We're in
still
the second
in
half of 2022.
What is it called? An NDA?
Yeah, I think it's a 5-year one, though.
Is it?
I think most jobs are a 5-year one.
I think mine's
and
5.
I'm, like, almost 4. No, I'm, like, 3. So...
I did like working at my place. Like, I loved some of the people there.
Yeah, same.
And great pay. Oh my, and like people were lovely. It's just some of the
because you have like celebrities and
we have
stuff.
celebrity guests.
Yeah. So it's a little different.
Treat
How
them
long
with
is your
privacy.
NDA?
I think it's 5.
Yeah. I think most places are 5.
Like, especially with the Ritz-Carlton, I'm sure.
They just hope after 5 years you just forget about it.
I have
You're like, I have trauma.
I have trauma. No, the most trauma I have is from working at the Comfort Inn in Peterborough.
True. True.
I had to call in an overdosed man in a tub.
Yeah, that's a yikes. I can't believe that, like you lived life normally after that.
I watched someone throw a TV out the window because he wanted to keep it.
That's wild.
Yeah. But it's also Peterborough, so I'm not surprised. To be fair, this is on Lansdowne Street, though. Lansdowne Street isn't even that rough.
No, it's like downtown that's rough.
Yeah.
I know, like, a friend of my ex's moved on to Stewart Street.
Nice.
1 year in college, and I went to a party, like, at their place.
Yeah.
And my grandma, like, drove us there. We were gonna... were we gonna drive? I think we were gonna drive. And I'm not that far from downtown. Like, I'm like a 10-minute drive from downtown. And probably like a 25-minute walk. Like, it's really not that far. And my grandma was like, no, I'm driving you. And it was like daylight. And she was like, no, I'm driving you. If you need a pickup, I will pick you up. Yeah. She's like, I don't care how late it is. Like, she was like, you're not
walking by yourself.
No.
I'll never walk by myself downtown Peterborough.
I don't know if I'd walk by myself. If I'm in a group, I probably would walk.
Yeah, not by myself.
But not by myself. No, especially, like, so, like, there's, like, downtown where, like, the movies is and stuff like that, which is pretty much it. Like, that's all. There's, like, a spa that's popular.
Yeah.
And the movies. And that's like, the
it.
only 2 things that you do. And then there's, like, the few bars.
But then there's, like, Simcoe Street. Like, you know where, like, the bus station is?
Oh, yeah.
Like, the rough
pits. And then it just, like, hits a point where it's just, like, it's bad. Like, it's, like, dying businesses.
There's garbage rustling in the wind.
Like, it's dead. Like, there's, like, nobody there.
Yeah.
It's rough. Bethune is not that great. Like, that area is not great.
There's a lot of women going missing.
That too. So, like, it's just best if, like, you don't.
It's funny. I feel more safe sometimes walking around downtown Toronto. I think it's because
there's
it's
more
so
people.
Open,
yeah.
And it's always well lit.
Yeah, it's well lit. There's always more people. Like, Stewart Street's, like, black.
Yeah,
like
no
there'll be like 3 streetlights out on that street every single time you go
I think
down.
that's what it is, because like at least if I, God forbid, tried to get abducted in Toronto, I can scream.
Sorry. You tried, or somebody attempted?
Somebody attempted.
You're like, if I tried to get abducted,
I'm sure I could. No, if someone attempted to abduct me, I'm sure I could just scream and something will happen. I hope.
Yeah.
Or I could just, run. Try to.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's been abductings going on Queen West right now. There's been like a white van.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
White van? Red van?
I've heard both, to be honest.
Nice.
Anything with a van. I'm just like, I'm going to walk on the other side of the sidewalk.
And they open the sliding doors and throw you in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's scary.
If that happened to me, I'd just act crazy. I'd act absolutely crazy.
Have you seen the TikToks of it's like if Kenzie was abducted?
If who?
If Gen Z was abducted and then they're in there and they're like doing their makeup and they're like,
Why'd
well,
you pick
Paul,
me?
like you chose me. Like, what am I supposed to do about it? Like, I have to, like, you gave me nothing in here. Or they'll open a Coke and he'll be like, what the fuck? And she goes, you just left the mini fridge open over there. Like, there's no lock on it. Like, what was I supposed I'm hungry. You didn't give me any food, Paul. And she, like, the guy's name is always Paul. And she'll be like, Paul, what do you expect me to do? You didn't give me any food.
I think they're funny. Or when they, like, peer over, like, the driver's seat and they're like, so why'd you pick me? What was it about me that drew you?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Using Homer.
Homer Simpson.
Using humor to cope.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
When you scrape your nose.
Something was happening.
Yeah, because you're hitting the edge of your nostril with your nail.
Oh.
And it's making a noise.
I
Yummy.
love your nails.
Mine?
Yeah, they're so cute.
Thank you. We got them done by this friend of ours, Morgan. I feel like I can call her a friend now.
Yeah. Her Instagram's made by Morgie.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty sure.
this is the best my nails have ever looked.
Yeah, they're
She
incredible.
did them exactly how I want them. And the nail art is incredible.
And she takes her time, which I appreciate.
Oh my gosh, she spent so much time. I genuinely felt like I had like a therapy session while I was getting my nails done.
She's absolutely lovely.
I told her like my whole life story pretty much while I was there.
Yeah, bit of therapy.
Yeah.
Watch a bit of Netflix.
Yeah, she's so great. Literally, I would suggest anybody in the GTA to go to her.
Yeah, she's located in Chinatown.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
I'm pretty sure that's Chinatown.
Yeah, it's like
because when I walked, I saw Bank of China.
Yeah, it's right in the
hub,
in the mid,
right in the Dundas Street West.
Yeah, like near like St. Patrick. Yeah. Actually, I walked right past there.
Did you, when you walked past, did you see the Harry Potter thing?
No.
You've never been there, have you?
The AGO?
No. So there's the AGO on this side, right?
Yeah.
On the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, there's like these cafes. But then there's this thing that goes down.
Yeah.
There's a big... What was that thing in Dumbledore's office? The Griffin?
Phoenix?
The Phoenix.
Yeah.
So there's that standing outside, and it's like a hidden Harry Potter store.
Oh.
You'd really like it.
Probably. I like anything Harry Potter.
It's so cool.
I'll have to go. Maybe next time I go get my nails done.
Yeah, I wanted to pop in, but it was closed.
Oh. Hopefully it'll be opening then.
Yeah.
Because it was the middle of the week that you went, no?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, on to today's topic. Little rundown of a bunch of stuff.
I had to get Jeffrey Bezos' dick ship out of my head.
Plus, I think a lot of people are talking about it right now. So,
it's a buzzword.
How can you not talk about it? It's a giant dick going into space.
The people are saying that it looks like the same ship that, in Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, he put a no.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, he put a penis ship into space.
Why am I not surprised?
So, people are saying it looks like that.
Basically, you're saying...
He's Dr. Evil. Oh my god, Dr.
Jeff
Evil's
Bezos
bald.
is...
Mini-me.
Jeff Bezos is the reincarnation of Dr. Evil.
So then Elon Musk is Austin Powers.
He kind of looks like him.
Oh my god.
Oh my... No. No, he doesn't. I'm thinking
You're
of
thinking
Bill
of
Gates. Bill Gates looks like Austin Powers.
Is Bill Gates dead?
No, Bill Gates is still alive.
Who's dead? Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yeah.
I am intelligent.
The Apple guy.
I get rich white men mixed up
a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
Unfortunately. So.
But anyway.
You know that means if you want to be like a hella trophy wife, you'll have to marry like a rich white man.
Listen, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to take.
You could also like go to Dubai and meet like a rich brown man.
I will never live in Dubai.
Really?
Women have next to no rights, friend.
In like the main city, it's different.
My aunt lived there for a number of years.
Yeah. Also, if you're married to a rich white man, you have a lot more, or a rich brown man, then you have a lot more rights.
You do. If you're caught stealing, they cut your hands off.
I'm not surprised.
You're crazy.
Yeah. But I think that's for everybody. I don't think that's just for women.
No. It's like a rule there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cut your hands off.
Yeah. Yeah, but Dubai is like one of the richest places in the world. It's stunning. But then the rest of it's like poverty and desert and like...
It's hot.
Yeah. This week it was 46 degrees Celsius there, and it's the hottest it's ever been.
I don't think I could survive in a hot country. My skin would fall off.
Usually what they do is like they'll be out like during the morning and out in the evenings, but they're not out in the middle of the day.
Oh, no.
Kind of like what... I don't know if you guys did this in Honduras, but when we went, it was like we would work in the morning on the school we were putting up, and then in the afternoons we weren't working. Like,
no, we'd come in and we'd
come in and do something inside, because then you have like air, and then in the evenings again, like you would be out like with the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Brittany sent me a picture last night of the vanilla that she bought in Honduras.
She still has it?
And I'm like, girlie, chuck that out.
Does vanilla go bad?
I don't know, but it's been a hot minute. It's been like, what? 6 years almost?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy.
That means it's been 7, because I went the year before. Oh my
It's
gosh.
almost been 6.
So it's almost
No.
been... I went in 2014.
It has been. Because it was April
this
we
year.
went.
Yeah, this April.
So it's almost...
was 7.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wild. But yeah, today's topic is anxiety. Fun stuff.
Super fun stuff.
So I just brought up like the definition, in case people don't know what anxiety is. I feel like most people
do
know what it is at this point. Oh, it's gone now. One sec.
Jeffrey Bezos.
Okay, so anxiety is a noun, in case you didn't know. A feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. For like psychiatric, a nervous disorder marked by excessive uneasiness and apprehension, typically with compulsive behavior or panic attacks, strong desire or concern to do something or for something to happen. So that's the definition of anxiety. I really didn't notice much anxiety that I had. I had a lot of anxiety in elementary school.
But you didn't know what it was.
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But it was surrounding like doing well in school. So like if I was like really sick or something, I would still want to go to school because it would make me like anxious that I would like miss things and then fall behind and be dumb. Right. And I didn't want that. So like I literally, when I was like throwing up sick, I'd be like, no, I still have to go to school.
You're fine.
Then I kind of grew out of that a little bit and learned how to like cope with that. And then from there, it kind of like got worse again, I would say, like in college. Right. I think high school was okay, anxiety-wise.
Do you think just because also you probably had a lot going on?
In high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I also just, like, you had routine. Like, I did the same things all the time, pretty much. Yeah. Even though, like, I was involved in a lot of things, it was like, okay, this is when you go to work, this is when you go to school. Like, everything was, like, even, like, going into grade 9, I didn't feel like I had that much anxiety about it. Because I, like, made friends pretty easily. So that wasn't, like, a problem for me. Like, I just immediately kind of, like, joined things. And I also didn't really have a problem being alone at times. Yeah. At the time. So, like, even if, like, I was, like, I would just go and, like, play flute by myself if I didn't want to be around or I didn't have anybody to hang out with. Yeah. I would just go do that, or I would go read by myself, and it wasn't a problem for me.
You weren't really, like, in your head.
Yeah.
At that time.
I feel like I just was, like, kind of very sure that I was like, well, I work, I go to high school,
Mm.
and then I'm in the things that I enjoy.
Right.
So it was a very, like, structured life. I think a lot of my anxiety grew as high school got to the end because of, like, not knowing what was to come.
Yeah.
And then that's when, like, things like the eating disorder and stuff like that came out.
Yeah.
It seems like everything that, like, little things that I have stem from there. Like,
from anxiety.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I'm pretty sure the eating disorder and stuff stems from the anxiety.
I would say so. Also, you probably, when you went to university or college,
Yeah.
when you have, I think, a major life change, and that's knocked out of your daily routine,
Yeah.
you're obviously going to get anxiety about that as well.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, oh shit, like, things are changing.
Yeah.
Really out of my control because this is the next step in life that you've chosen anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, even just the transition from high school to college alone is wild, and I think that high school teachers should take more caution into that. We're literally thrown into it.
I think we're kind of thrown into it, and then I just remember there being, like, a lot of pressure from, like, a young age of, like, needing to know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Because you have to, like, take those steps in high school, which isn't really true anymore.
Yeah.
But they make it really, like, you need to do this.
Like, to get certain requirements to then be able to get accepted.
Into schools, yeah.
It was scary for me, though, because, like, when I was in grade 9 and 10, although I knew I wanted to do something with marketing and social media, we had one course in the school
Yeah.
that dealt with that.
Yeah.
Literally one, and it wasn't a great course. We just sat and we did basically nothing.
Yeah.
No shade
Yeah.
to, Mr. Durst.
Yeah.
But the program itself wasn't much. Like, me and Sydney would just make, like, edits of Leonardo DiCaprio.
I remember those, actually.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of those edits.
She was really good at them. She should have continued that.
I remember it was like a trend on
Vine,
and then there was also on like the photos that would be edited, and it would be like a collage.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then you would make that your, like, phone screen background. And then Sid would do them for, like, all of us.
Yeah.
And then we would make it our
She's
phone
quite
screen.
the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Still is.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Keisha's over there writing smut for us. We had, like, one friend who was doing the edits. One friend... We could have had a whole business out of high school.
Honestly, we really should have, like, managed that more at that time.
Literally, like, between... Like, I don't know what I would have done. Because, like, you were, like,
you could have been the promoter.
The social media thing.
Yeah.
And then Keisha was doing the writing.
Yeah.
Sydney was doing all the artistic stuff.
Right. We would have found you a place. I'm sure.
Thanks, friend.
I'm sure of it.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
But, yeah, I think because, like you said, when you kind of have to map out your life in high school.
Yeah.
Also, for me anyway, I was so stressed out regardless.
Yeah.
I couldn't pinpoint anything. I couldn't figure out what was going on with me.
Yeah.
I just felt like, oh, I'm a teenager.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to feel like this
Yikes.
because of all the stress.
Yeah.
But, it's not normal to feel like that at 13, 14.
I feel like it's not normal to just be worried about everything.
That's not what life's about.
No. Like,
it's harder to say, than to do, but...
Yeah. Like, when you're in high school, I feel like you think that you have to worry about everything.
Yeah.
When you don't.
No.
Like, it's not as serious as everybody makes it feel like it is.
No.
Like, because you start at 13 years old.
Which is
14 years old. You start at 14 years
14.
old.
I started at 13.
Yeah. And then turned 14.
And then turned
in
14
October.
into the October.
Yeah, and I turned 14 just before.
Yeah. It's so young.
It's so young. And then even when you think about it, like, literally we went to post-secondary not being legal adults.
Yeah.
Like, we had to
enrolled
choose.
at 17.
Yeah, same. So, like, that's why, like, there's been, like, a lot of talk of like, bringing back grade 13.
Yeah.
Because then at least, like, you're actually at least, like, at minimum, a legal adult.
Yeah.
When you're making decisions.
I think they should bring it back.
Yeah.
But I feel like it should almost be up to the student if they want to continue to do grade 13 or not. Like,
I mean, technically, that option's
that
always
is an
there
option.
because they'd be 18.
Yeah, but most people don't go back.
Yeah,
They
but
don't
I think
really
that's
go back.
just because we don't have it.
Yeah.
Like, you have the option to take a leap year. A leap year? Is that what it's called?
A gap year?
A lap year.
Oh, a lap year.
A victory lap.
Yeah.
Technically, you have that option, but
It's not talked about a lot, though. Like, it's not like...
it doesn't really, like, come across as it being an option.
No.
So,
it's associated kind of with, like, being, like, you failed.
Yeah.
Almost. Like,
Yeah.
I guess you have to do it again because you didn't succeed.
Yeah.
Grade 12.
When really it could just be, like, an extra year for you to figure shit out.
I definitely needed that.
Neither of us took it, and I probably needed it.
Yeah.
So, I don't regret not doing it.
No.
Like, I think I am still happy that I went and did my program and everything. Like, I had initially, like, planned to. But for a long time, like, up until recently, I was like, why the fuck did I do that? Why the fuck did I spend all that money to do that? Because I wasn't even working in the field. And it wasn't until, like, the last year that I was like, okay, yeah, like, that still makes sense that I did that. Because now I, like, for the last, like, I mean, I did a manifesto and worked there for a little bit doing content creation and within the music industry.
Yeah.
Which was phenomenal. I loved it. So, like, I was actually doing what I went to school for. But, like, when I first got out of school, I was like,
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a scary feeling. Like, I haven't really ever known what I'm doing. But then when I graduated and I had all that time to think about everything, that's when kind of my anxiety got worse. Because I had no distractions.
Yeah.
So then I was just kind of like wallowing in this pit of like, oh my God.
Because up to that point, you know what you're doing. You're in school.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to be doing at the time. But then it's like, well, what do I do now?
That's
when
the thing.
school's over.
Like,
And then
you don't have a backdrop anymore.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we had a pandemic.
Yeah.
So the economy isn't exactly in a state for us to just be able to, like, be like, yeah, I have a 5-year degree. Please give me a job.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, yeah, sure.
You and 50 other people.
Yeah,
it's
or
hard.
300 people who've applied, and you're like...
Yeah, I applied to this one job where I think they had over 250 applicants, and I had made it into the top 10. Didn't get that job.
Yeah.
But that's so many applicants.
Yeah.
So that alone...
Did you have, like, anxiety as a kid? Like a child?
Yeah, I had weird anxiety. So, like, I never know if it was anxiety or if it was just my undiagnosed ADHD.
Yeah.
But also, I think I mentioned in the last episode when we talked about ADHD, is that anxiety is linked to ADHD, right?
Yeah.
So, I was an incredibly anxious child. I was very shy.
Yeah.
So, like, even at the age of 6, 7, a lot of teachers would, like, be like, oh my gosh, she's so shy. Like, she doesn't want to, like, participate in class.
Yeah.
Like, I avoided a lot of eye contact as well, right? So, they assumed I was an anxious child.
Yeah.
Which I was. I think it was difficult for me to make friends.
Yeah.
Like, an extroverted person would usually come and find me.
Yeah.
That's usually how it went. I wouldn't really put myself out there. But I still don't know if that was more so my ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Because, like, even when I went into high school, I was anxious.
Yeah.
Could you tell I was anxious?
In high school, no.
No?
No, but I also didn't notice that you had I'm not a very observant person.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to get better at it. But, like, honestly, like, most of the time, my brain and body move at 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So, like, when like, I'm really trying to be aware of, like, how people are reacting to things, or, like, just, like, my surroundings in general, because I'm really bad at that.
Right.
So, like, I'm trying to be, like, more aware of things like that. But in high school, couldn't tell. Like, I couldn't tell that anybody really had anxiety or ADHD or anything.
Yeah, I had probably crippling anxiety in high school. I was always very nervous because when I went to Holy Cross, originally I was supposed to go to TAS.
Oh, yeah.
Which was I don't know where TAS was.
It's like an art school type thing that's like on like kind of the outskirts of Peterborough.
I was supposed to go there because a lot of the kids from my school went from there. Yeah. But my mom didn't really want me to go to TAS because there was a lot of bullying that was going on at TAS. Too. It was quite bad. And the kids that I graduated with were assholes. The majority of them anyway. Yeah. There's a select few that I love and I'm still friends with. Like Sid. Sid the kid. So there was a select few that my mom in particular didn't want me to go to school with in TAS. Yeah. Because there was previous issues with bullying. Yeah. So she put me into Holy Cross and I didn't really have anyone. Yeah. Like I had one, I'm not going to say her name, but
oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I did go to school with one friend and then that friendship fizzled out because then they became friends with other people, right? Yeah. So that alone was a huge like hit to my anxiety. Yeah. Because then you don't really have a support system anymore in a new school. Yeah. And I didn't know anyone. I knew Emma. I'm still friends with Emma. But we didn't really hang out in high school.
Yeah, not near the end, right?
Not near the end. Even to begin with, we weren't in the same circle of friends. You just kind of knew each other. We just knew each other.
When I first went to high school, I had one really close friend, but I wasn't really friends with, like, anybody, like, super close with anybody else. I had one really close friend, and I was excited to go to high school just because I always liked, like, meeting people. Mm-hmm. But at the time, I was still, like, nervous about being, like, the first person to put myself out there. So initially, like, as I got more like into high school, I didn't have a problem with it, obviously, but initially in grade 9 I was just like self-conscious. I think like you're not as confident as a 13-year-old like or 14-year-old. So a friend of mine who I'm still friends with now like had just like come up to me and said like hi one day, and this was like when I had no friends, like literally, because like the other friend had started hanging out with some other people, which was fine. I was fine with it too, and I was still hanging out with her. But then one of the girls in the friend group, I don't know what her issue was, but she basically just like came up and was like, yeah, you're not pretty enough to be friends with us, pretty much. And I was like, okay. Like, what do I do then?
What do you say to that?
Like, what do I say to that? Like, I was like, okay. Like, I'm 14. Like, what really can I do about my appearance at 14? Like, I am just the way I am. Like, I was like, also, like, not to mention, like, I certainly don't look the way I look now. Like, literally, like, I was, like, also, I didn't hit puberty for a hot minute there. Yeah. So, like, I literally just kind of looked like a blob for a while. Right. Like, not only that, but, like, I didn't know how to do my own, like, I wasn't really allowed to wear makeup, and then makeup was, like, a special occasion thing. Well, if you're only wearing makeup, like, 4 times out of the year, you don't really know how to do it. Yeah. So, I didn't really know how to do my own makeup. I hated doing my hair, so my hair was either in like a ponytail, bun, or like just down all the time, like, and still to this day that's pretty much the only hairstyles I could do. And I had like super curly hair, didn't know how to take care of it, so like it would just be like kind of like frizzy all the time. Like, think like first year Hermione. Like, that's rough. What my hair was like all the time. So it was either in a ponytail, like, whatever. Also, like, that was, like, I was, like, super into Harry Potter. So, like, I was, like, a little nerdy as well to some people. Like, And
you probably were just considered like not one of the populars. I don't know what are the.
We didn't really have like a populars, but like I wasn't.
You weren't an outcast.
No. Like, I wasn't, like, super outcast. Like, I still found people to be my friend.
Yeah.
But, like, initially, I was just like, this is my only friend.
Yeah.
So then, like, I also, like, at that point, hadn't really had, like, a lot of, like, body image, like, issues.
Right.
Like, I didn't feel like I had, like, I had, like, a few because, like I mentioned in our, like, body image, like, eating disorder podcast, like, my siblings are all very thin. And, like, we're all, like, very short and thin for the most part, and I am not.
Yeah.
So, I'm short, but I'm not thin.
Yeah.
So, like, growing up, like, I had, like, little things like that, but it wasn't, like, anything major.
Mm-hmm.
So then, when you're 14, and you're, like, starting to, like, quote unquote become a woman, and then like somebody's just like, yeah, you're not pretty, you're just like,
yeah,
okay.
It's always other people's opinions that I think kind of like outshine your own, because then you become, like, other people think this, then it must be
true. Like, so that happened. And then that, I think, it was kind of a pretty big hit to my confidence.
Yeah.
And then I, like, wasn't really putting myself out there, and then literally another friend, like a friend that I'm still friends with, like, just literally came up to me before a class one day.
Yeah.
And was like, hi, I'm Nicole. And I was like,
Nicole's sweet.
Hi. And then in my head, I was just like, I could be a killer. And she just came up and talked to me. That's literally my first thought, was like, she just came up and talked to me. She doesn't know who I am. Like, I could be a killer.
This is the skin of a killer, Bella.
And she just was like, she just was very nice. And then I ended up like meeting her and her friends, and ended up hanging out with them, and that was kind of the start. And then from there, my confidence built a little, and then I was able, like, after that, I wasn't exactly the quiet.
No, I could hear you coming down the hall.
Yeah.
With your milk.
Yeah. So after that, I was able to be, like, more confident and stuff like that, and I kind of, like, came into my own with that. But I would say grade 9 was kind of rough at the beginning. But like I said, like, even, like, that period, like, wasn't that long. Like, because everybody was trying to make friends at that point, because we were all in, like, random classes together. So we were all, like, meeting people, and everybody was kind of in the same boat. So, like, just thinking about that everybody was kind of in the same boat there made me feel better about the situation.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, grade 9 and 10 were a weird one for me, because, like, I was also having, like, a hard time at home.
Yeah.
So, like, I already had a lot going on. So then when I didn't have many friends, like, coming into high school, I was, like, super nervy about trying to, like, introduce myself to other people, because I'm introverted.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to go up to someone and be like, hey, be my friend.
Yeah.
So I don't remember a lot of high school, honestly. Like, I don't know, like, other people would come up to me, like, Britt would come up to me, and that's how we became friends. I think you came up to me.
Yeah, we just sat together in math class.
Yeah.
And then you were just funny. And then I was like, you're funny. I also laughed at everything you said. So.
Yeah.
And then you were just like, yeah, I like you. You just laugh at everything I say. So.
Yeah. In grade 11, I definitely say that I knew who my friends were in school.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until grade 11 when I was actually diagnosed with anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because when I was 13, I was having panic attacks.
Yeah, I was going to ask, when was, like, your first panic attack?
It was probably like 9.
Yikes. Do you remember what happened?
It feels like you're dying.
Yeah.
Not to be, like, dramatic.
No, but it does.
I get really tingly. My feet go numb. I usually have to sit down or else I'm going to pass out. Mm-hmm. But my chest just feels really, 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 really tight.
Yeah.
And then my breathing's restricted. So I'm like, I think I'm having a heart attack.
Heart attack, yeah.
You know? So my panic attacks are quite bad. Sometimes they'd be so bad where I'd either throw up.
Yeah.
Or I would pass out.
Yeah.
And they were probably having, oh my God, I can't speak. They were probably happening like 3 times a week, I want to say.
Oof.
They were really bad. So they got worse when I went to high school. Mm-hmm. And then when I was 14 in grade 10, I witnessed a really bad car accident. Mm. So then I got PTSD from that.
Yeah.
And then my mental health kind of started spiraling then, and my anxiety was getting worse.
Yeah.
And also, we still don't know if this is ADHD. Like, I'm still undiagnosed at this point.
Yeah.
So I have a shit ton of other stuff going on. But the main thing is that I'm having panic attacks all the time.
Yeah.
And I am having really intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
So I was diagnosed at 16. I think generalized anxiety, I want to say.
Probably. I feel like that's what they do initially.
Generalized anxiety, and then moderate to severe depression. And I was put on meds for anxiety, but I wasn't put on meds for depression because my mom didn't want me to go on meds for depression.
Okay.
Which, in hindsight, is a good thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I later got treated for depression with therapy, and then now knowing it's ADHD.
Yeah.
But high school was worse for my anxiety.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like a pool for anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, it's like where anxiety is born and raised, no?
Born and bred. You don't know who you are.
You don't know. There's a lot of, like, uncertainty at that point in your life.
Yeah, like, you have 4 years to figure out what you want to do with your life, essentially.
Yeah, which realistically, it's not.
It's not at all.
Like, it's not at all, like, how much pressure that they say, like, that it is.
No, you can graduate and then take maybe a year or 2 off.
You can literally do whatever you want and still probably turn out fine.
Yeah.
So,
there's no point.
Literally flunk out of high school and then still become a millionaire. I'm not saying
do that.
I'm saying, like, maybe still finish high school. Like, at least finish high school because, like,
you need a GED for everything.
Yeah. So, like, finish high school, but, like, it's okay if you want to take time to figure out some stuff before just, like, jumping straight into university or college.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay. Like, you don't have to have it figured out at the age of 17.
Yeah, it's so young. You're still, like, such a baby.
You changed a lot.
Yeah, I am not the same person as I was when I was 17.
Not even close. Not even slightly. My first anxiety attack, like panic attack, was when I think I was in high school, but it was like later in high school. I think I was like in grade 12. And my sister wanted to go to Black Friday at the mall.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't really like the mall to begin with. And then on top of that, it was Black Friday, and we only have one mall in Peterborough. So
Chaos.
It was packed, to say the least. We went into an Aeropostale, and you couldn't move with how packed this store was. And I just left crying because I felt like I couldn't breathe. Yeah. Because a lot of my anxiety stems from feeling like trapped.
Yeah.
Or like trapped in like a place where like I can't leave easily if I need to or want to. And that was kind of like the first panic attack, and then it wasn't like that severe other than like I just felt very overwhelmed like super quickly.
Yeah.
And then I like couldn't breathe very well, like I was like like hyperventilating, and then I started crying, and then I just left and waited outside for Bella, and I was able to like calm down. That was like my first experience. But then like my first full blown like panic attack was was first year of college. I like came back from a studio time at like, I think it was like 3 a.m. or something. Like, it was late, if I remember correctly. It was late, and I came back from a studio time, and this was first year of college, so it was a lot. Like, there was a lot of work that we were doing and stuff like that. And I was, like, walking back, and my legs went numb as I was walking back. And my brain was going, like, 1,000,000 miles per minute. And I get in, and one of my roommates, like, our housemates at the time, was in the kitchen. And she was like, oh, hi. Because I had just walked in the door. Mm-hmm. And I guess I was, like, really pale. And she was like, are you okay? And I just start bawling. I just start crying. And I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And I just, like, keep saying I can't breathe. And my throat was sore because I had been sick.
Yeah.
But then I'm, like, hyperventilating. So then that's making it worse. And I genuinely just am like, I'm dying. Like, I feel like I'm dying.
You think
and
you're having a heart attack.
Like, I didn't know that I was having a panic attack.
Yeah.
And then, like, my other roommate then came out, and I'm just sitting on the, like, chair that we had there and just saying, like, I can't breathe. I just can't breathe. So then they call, like, another guy that lives in the building that we know has lifeguarding and CPR and stuff like that. So they call him, and they're like, you need to come down. So he comes down, checks, like, my airways because I'm saying I can't breathe.
Yeah.
So he, like, checks my mouth, checks, like, my airways. He goes, there's nothing blocking your airways. Like, you should be able to breathe. But he was like, if you still are having trouble breathing. And I was saying, like, my chest is tight. I can't breathe.
Yeah.
And he was like, then you need to go to the hospital. So then they call the front desk because they don't know if I can, like, walk down to the thing because my legs are numb. So I can't stand. So they call, and they're like, you're going to have to bring her down. So then I had, like, 2 people, like, one on each side of me, like, help me downstairs. And to be honest, like, I'm pretty I don't really remember, like, leaving the room to getting downstairs. So, like, I think somewhere in there I was, like, kind of blacked out.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember anything else except, like, somebody brought me water. And then I know, like, the campus paramedics were there. And then they were like, I don't know what they did. Like, I don't remember what they did. And then I just remember somebody being like, you're having a panic attack. You need to calm down.
Yeah.
And that's when one of my roommates had been like, I think you're having a panic attack. And I'm like, no, I don't get panic attacks. Because up until this point, I'd only had the one.
And you didn't really know
And I didn't really know what it was. So I was like, no, I don't have panic attacks.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's not a panic attack. I'm dying. Like, I was like, I'm
dying.
I need to go to a hospital. Like, this isn't. And then she's like, I think you're having, like, this is a mental thing. Like, if nothing's blocking your airways.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I don't have panic attacks. Like, I don't have them. So I must be dying. So.
This is it.
And then. And then, like you said, like, you feel like you're having a heart attack. So I'm like, I think I'm having a heart attack. Like, I think I'm dying. So then I go down, whatever. They tell me I'm having a panic attack. And then I said, no, I'm not having a panic attack. I'm dying. And they're like, no, you need to calm down. Like, you're having a panic attack. They gave me, like, a little bit of oxygen.
Uh-huh.
And, like, had my, like, somebody was, like, doing breathing exercises with me to, like, calm down. And then I had to, like, put my head between my knees. The feeling started to come back in my legs, like, I was able to calm down. My throat was still really, really sore, probably from, like, because I had been sick before, like, with a cold. And then on top of that, the hyperventilating for, like, a good, like, while at this point. So they were like, you need to take a spoonful of honey to, like, help with your throat.
Oh.
But they were like, other than that,
you're
okay. Like, it's just, you've had a panic attack. And I was like, yikes.
They're horrible.
I genuinely thought that I was going to the hospital because I was having a heart attack.
Yeah. You think you are.
Yeah. Now, like, panic attacks are a little different for me now. But that was it's also this, like, the scariest thing, like, at the time, because I think mainly because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely was like, no, I don't have panic attacks. So I can't be having a panic attack. at this point, like, I wasn't diagnosed with anxiety or anything. So I was like, no, I'm dying. Like, and then I'm saying I can't breathe. Like, and that, like, my chest is hurting. But they're like, your airways are not blocked. Like, the only other thing it could be is a chest thing. But they're like, I seriously doubt that at the age of 23.
It's just anxiety.
Or I wasn't 23. At the time, I was 17.
Yeah.
So they were like, I seriously doubt that. Or 18. I was 18 or something. So, yeah. So they were like, no, you're having a panic. And they, like, the campus paramedics deal with that all the time.
Yeah.
So they were able to tell that I was fine. It was just, I was having a severe panic attack. And it was rough.
They're scary when they happen.
Yeah.
I'm also the type of person, when I have a panic attack, I don't want to be bothered. Like, I think people coming in and touching me and, like, calming me down.
Yeah.
It makes me worse.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That makes sense for who you are.
Yeah. I'm like, please do not come near me. Like, do not come near me.
I don't really like to be touched much during that time. I think, like Judah does, like, a really good job of it. And kind of always has, which it kind of surprises me because I feel like usually people don't know exactly what somebody wants. Usually, literally, he'll just, like, touch me in some way with just a hand. Yeah. Like, whether it's, like, resting his hand on my leg or, like, rubbing my back. But he's not, like, over, like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah. Like, he's just be like, are you okay? And then he'll, like, rub my back and I'm like, yeah, I'm just, like, anxious. Or I'll just be like, I just need a minute. And then he'll be like, okay. And then he just, like, doesn't really say anything. And then if it's, like, been a while, then he'll, like, check in again. But it's not like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Because, like, that doesn't help.
It's the panic that makes it worse, I think.
Yeah.
Like, have you had a panic attack like that since? You've had the manifesto one. Yeah,
I've had, like, a few, like, the manifesto one, because, like, I'm similar. Like, I either throw up or pass out.
Yeah.
So, like, I had to go and get blood work done because I was having problems with my period. So I had to go, and then I thought I just had to give, like, a urine sample.
Right.
Which I did. But then they were like, oh, and you'll just have to fill this out, and then we'll get you in for blood work. I didn't know I was getting blood work done. Usually, if I'm getting blood work done, they tell you ahead of time. So I had, like, mentally prepare myself for it. Usually, I don't do that well with getting blood work. So if I know ahead of time, I can, like, prepare for it. But if I don't, then I panic.
Yeah.
So then and, like, Judah was meeting me, like, at the clinic, and I threw up because he wasn't there yet. And I just found out I had to get blood work done, and I didn't think I needed it. So then I'm sitting there, and my whole body just goes into, like, a cold sweat. And I'm not crying, but, like, I'm having trouble breathing. My whole body is, like, covered in sweat.
You're, like, clammy.
Yeah. Like, my whole body is covered in sweat. And then I, like, go to the bathroom and throw up. And then after you throw up, like, you feel better a little bit. But, like, I still was really nervous. Go into the appointment, of course, and they take my blood work. And I told the girl, like, she was like, are you usually okay with blood? I'm like, no, to be honest, like, I get nervous with it. And she was like, okay. And then she was like, we'll have you lay down then. So then I laid down, had my arm out. I swear on my life, had no idea she had taken my blood. Like, she just talked to me, took my blood, had no idea. Like, we just talked, and then at the end, she was like, we're all done. And I was like, no fucking way. I swear to God, I didn't feel a fucking thing.
She's just good at her job.
Yeah, so then when that shit happens, then I'm like, I just threw up. I just panicked so hard over this thing. And it's fine. Like, it literally, nothing happened.
Yeah.
But when you're in the moment before it happens, it feels so, like, panicky. Like...
Yeah, because it's the things that, like, you can't really control, and they just come out of the blue. Like, also, when I was in university, now knowing that I had anxiety, like, when I got diagnosed, I was able to get aids at University of Toronto. So, like, they're, like, assistant aides to, like, help you.
Yeah.
Through certain things.
Yeah.
So you're then considered a student with a disability.
Yeah.
In, like, their system, I guess.
Yeah.
So I would have a note taker. I would sometimes be able to not have to do presentations if I didn't feel like it. Mm-hmm. And I could be excused from the classroom.
Yeah.
I had a few professors that told me that the aides were bullshit and that they refused to uphold.
Oh my gosh.
Like my, I don't know, my things,
Wait,
right?
what the fuck?
They wouldn't do it because they didn't really believe in anxiety. Yeah. They just said, you're just nervous. Everyone has to do this. Get over it. But I'm like, you don't understand. I will throw up on your shirt.
Yeah.
So I had this one professor. Not going to say his name. But it was in second year. If you remember my second year, it was a bad year.
I don't think we weren't
really close, but I think I've told you
so we started to be friends again, like, at the end of second year.
Yeah.
Because I graduated.
Yeah.
And then that's when we were, like,
and we came
closer.
Back. Second year was a really rough year for me. First year was bad, but second year I was alone. Yeah. I was not on campus anymore. And it was bad. Yeah. Like, I was really suicidal. My anxiety was terrible. I wasn't on any meds. Yeah. The therapy at the school was horrific. They just said, oh, you're feeling suicidal. Just get over it. You'll be fine.
Yikes.
They were really bad.
Yikes.
So I had virtually no one.
Yeah.
So then I had this one professor. We had this huge presentation that we had to do. It was like a 6-minute presentation in front of 500 students.
Yeah.
For some people, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, they can thrive in presentations. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, my body will physically not allow me to do it.
Yeah.
And so I came to him and I said, look, it's in my aids, which is, it's a legal document with U of T. Yeah. And even it was with my OSAP as well. Mm-hmm. It's a legal thing. So I'm like, I have the right to not have to do this presentation in front of all of these people. Yeah. I don't mind still doing the presentation if it's a one-on-one. And he's like, I don't have time for that.
That's what I was going to say. Like, a lot of, for mine, like, at Fanshawe, a lot of my professors, if there was a student like that, they would just be like, okay, we can schedule a time, and you can just do it for me. Or, like, if it was, like, he was like, is it okay if we do it for, like,
a
10
small group
students?
Of people.
Like, something like that. Yeah.
Most of my teachers did that.
Yeah.
They were said we can do a one-on-one, no problem. Some even said you don't even have to do the presentation. I can opt for an essay, which most of the time I chose. Yeah. I'll do it if I have to, but, like, this presentation was really bad because it was the final end project. I knew it was coming up, and I also gave him 3 months notice. Yeah. Saying that I had these aids and I can't do this presentation. So there was a lot of time. And he's like, no, you're doing it. So I did it. Mm-hmm. I was about 4 minutes in. I passed out. I collapsed. Yeah. Like, you can't put someone with anxiety in that environment where they're pressured to do it.
Yeah. I think, like, as a person who has anxiety, it's been good for myself to make decisions to push my own comfort zone here and there. Yeah. But that's, like, on my own terms.
That's the thing.
Like, if you're pressured into it, it's even more overwhelming to do it. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, now I push myself to do things because I don't really have that bad anxiety anymore. Yeah. I'm better mentally. Yeah. But, like, at the time, I'm what, 18? Yeah. I'm also suicidal. Yeah. And I have no support system. Yeah. I have no family in this city. Yeah. And then I have a dick of a professor basically forcing me to do this, or he's like, you're going to fail this course if you don't.
Yeah. That's a yikes.
And I'm already on academic probation.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because I had the previous semester, I dropped all of my courses because I had a meltdown. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So this was in the second term, and I was slowly trying to just get better at school, going back to class, you know, trying to, like, pull myself out of that hole. Yeah. And then he made everything 10 times worse because he forced me into something that I offered other solutions. Yeah. And also the accessibility center at U of T backed me up and helped me and like put this case to him.
Yeah.
But they said at the end of the day, it's his class.
That's a yikes.
Yeah.
Somebody should have been in there and forced him to give you either something else or forced him. The thing is that, like, a lot of professors like that, if they have to make the accommodation, sometimes they will, but then they'll dock you marks for it.
Yeah.
Which is a fat yikes. Mm-hmm. Like, that's bullshit.
It's bullshit. So then I did it. I passed out, and he's like, I didn't know it was this bad. I'm like, bro.
Well, you just saw.
Of course it's this bad. I'm not going to lie about, like, a mental illness. That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, some people do use it.
Some people take advantage of it.
As an excuse. Yeah. I find, like, a lot when people, like, treat other people badly because of it.
Yeah.
Then they'll be like, oh, well, it's fine because, like, it has to do with my mental health. Mm-hmm. But, like, that doesn't give you a full ride to just, like, treat people like shit.
No.
So, I don't like when that happens. But I think, like, obviously, like, it's kind of same, like, everybody doesn't learn the same way. Mm-hmm. So why would you expect somebody to learn the same way as somebody else?
Yeah.
Like, you have to make accommodations here or there for teaching purposes.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you're a good teacher, you will do that.
Yeah, I was also just really overwhelmed by that entire situation because, like, now I know that, like, I am neurotypical.
Yeah.
I'm, like, super sensitive to, like, situations with pressure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think if it was handled differently, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But he literally just, like, made the situation 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have to pass out.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you pass out in front of 500 people.
Yeah.
Did you wake up on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surrounded by people.
Yeah.
And that's worse because then you're like, oh my God.
Then you're like, holy fuck.
Everyone saw this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I would have been horrified.
It's a big yikes. I then complained to the school.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I don't want to have that professor ever again.
Yeah.
And he is going to give me full marks for that presentation.
Yeah.
And he did.
Okay, good.
And I passed the class.
He probably felt like shit after, but you know what?
Such a prick.
Like, if you had just made the accommodation, it would have been fine.
He was an art history professor.
It wasn't even that. Like, it shouldn't have been that big of a deal.
It's literally like 6 minutes out of your day.
Also, like, it's one less presentation you have to watch then. Yeah. As a professor, isn't that better? Like, how long was the presentation supposed to be?
Like 6 minutes.
Yeah. That's a yikes. No thanks. 6 minutes is a long time when you're up there.
Yeah.
I remember, like, when we used to have to do speeches. I was good at speeches because I'm good at talking.
Yeah.
But I used to get award after award for speeches. But, yeah. That was, like, one of the major things that I was good at as a kid. And I just remember being like, how do I make a career out of this? I'm literally just talking.
Public speaking.
And here we are on a podcast.
How can I use this to my advantage?
But yeah, I used to like never have a problem with writing and speaking.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a shame. Like, now I'm like a lot better. Like, I'm fine now for the most part.
You also aren't being forced into those situations all the time, so that would make it better.
Yeah, I don't understand the professors that, like, they're thinking that it's out of your best interest to force you to do something, but that's not their call.
It's really not. It's really not in your best interest.
Your job is to just teach that person.
Yeah.
How they learn is up to them.
I think, like, it's important for teachers to push you outside of your boundaries a little bit. But when you, like, full-blown, like, have anxiety and can't do presentations, like, doing something to push you slightly out would be like, yeah, do this presentation for 10 people.
Yeah.
Not 500 people.
Yeah.
Like, that's... No.
Also, if you're that kind of teacher that you know one of your students is uncomfortable in a lot of those situations, and you intentionally pick at them in front of other people, you're a shitty person.
Yeah, you're just a shitty person.
There were people like that at Holy Cross that did that, and you're shitty teachers, and you should not be teaching.
Yeah, I had a teacher in physics, and I really struggled in physics.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say her name, but I really struggled in that class, and I promise you, I'm not somebody who half-asses things.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking put in the work for everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was putting in the work day after day for this class, and we had our phones, like, on the edge of our desks, right? So it's in full view, right?
Mm.
It was my last class of the day. I got a text from my grandma to tell me, which the only time she would tell me something, like the only time she would text me, especially during school, is if like it was like something that I needed to know.
Yeah.
So I got a text saying that she wasn't parked like at the regular area, that she was parked on the opposite side of the building. So I just checked the text to see that she had like was letting me know, because I thought maybe she was saying that she couldn't pick me up at all. And then in other words, I had to make other arrangements, right? So I was checking that. Also at the time, my home life, my sibling at the time was going through like a really rough period.
Yeah.
So I also thought that it could have been something with that, hence why I checked my phone. Mm-hmm. So I checked it just literally to see. I literally just like lifted my phone up from the edge of the desk, and then it has like the
lock screen.
The lock screen.
Yeah.
So I could see what it said. And then I checked it, read it, went to put it back down, and she goes, Shayna, why aren't you paying attention? If anybody needs it, you do.
Yeah.
In front of the whole class.
Like, why is that necessary?
It was so rude. Still to this day, I haven't forgotten about it. I left that class crying afterwards. And, like, she just was like, it was just rude. Not to mention, like, I was going to math help every single day to try to fucking figure this out. Unless, of course, I had one of my other fucking 90 extracurriculars I was doing during that lunch break. So, like, I was not, like, a shitty student.
No,
everybody who knew me knew I was not a shitty student ever.
Yeah.
So if I was struggling in a class, there was a reason for it, and it wasn't because I wasn't putting in the work.
Yeah.
So that was rough. Like, it was literally in front of everybody. It embarrassed me. I also had no friends in the class. All the people in the class were trash people. Yeah. Like, it was so annoying. And then literally, like, a few weeks after that, we had, I don't know if, like, every high school does this, but we had, like, culminating tasks, which was our, like, major, like, assignment for the semester. At the end of the semester that was due, plus we had exams coming up. Right?
Yeah.
So we had our culminating task that was like coming up to be due, and I went to like math help, and two of the kids from my class were in math help as well. And I showed her like what I had done so far, and she was like, yeah, this is all wrong. Like, you have to redo this whole thing. And she said it just like that.
Yeah.
And I was just so overwhelmed because I'd worked so long on it so far. And I was almost done this booklet that I had to do. I just start bawling. And I'm standing, and I'm trying to not to show the other people in the room that I'm crying. And then she was like, oh, like, come outside. So we, like, went in the hallway, and she was like, I'm going to give you, like, extra time to do it. But when I tell you this, other than that, she was not empathetic whatsoever to the fact that I had spent all this time on this. It was rough. It was awful, to be honest.
I've heard from other people that she was like that.
It was so terrible.
I just don't understand. If you want to be a teacher, you have to have empathy. You have to want to teach your children.
Yeah, it was really rough. And she had like her favorites that she liked.
Yeah.
And I was not one of them.
I don't think I was any teacher's favorite.
I liked Miss Krause a lot.
Yeah. And
Cosentino.
Oh, I love her.
She wasn't a teacher. She was a chaplain, but...
She's my friend.
I love her. Miss... oh my gosh. I only know her first name.
What's her first name?
Ruth.
Finan.
Yes. I don't know why I couldn't remember her last name. I've called her Mrs. Finan forever.
Ruth.
I was like, I can't remember. But yeah, I had a few that I was pretty close with.
Yeah, there were some like good teachers that deserved to be teaching.
Yeah, but
like my math teacher would like constantly bully me in front of other people.
Oh, Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
You know?
Yeah, that was
what's
yikes.
the point?
She liked me because my boyfriend played sports.
Oh, yeah.
At the time.
She was a sporty girl.
Yeah.
She wore tracksuits to fucking class.
Yeah.
She did a press conference, a parent-teacher conference once. And she did a press conference. And she showed up in, like, a full-on tracksuit.
Yeah.
And my parents went to, like, go find, they're like, where's the math teacher?
Yeah.
And then they point her out, and he's like, is that not the fucking gym teacher? She's in a tracksuit for a math class.
She was also a gym teacher, but...
My parents did not like her.
Yeah. I never had a problem with her. She was always nice to me, but
I wouldn't have had a problem
nice.
with her if she chose to not have one with me.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, she was super rude to you.
Yeah.
I don't really like I said, I was very not observant in high school, so I never like realized that was happening.
Yeah.
Other than I knew that you and Cassidy hated the class.
And
Britt
hated it.
Britt was in that class too. Because you and Britt sat behind Cassidy and I.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember much.
And then Cass and I did our like culminating task together, and you and Britt did yours together.
Brittany helped me with mine.
Yeah.
And so did Patrick.
Pat helped everybody with everything.
I think, did the majority of my science homework.
That's funny. That doesn't surprise me.
No, I'm like, bro, can you just check on this?
I just will never forget you coming to school with Birkenstocks for Miss Finan's culminating task.
Yeah.
Miss Finan was our foods teacher. And you came with Birkenstocks and you had to wear closed-toed shoes in
for our assignment because we were baking something.
Yeah. And that's all. Like, Patrick did, like, a lot of everything else.
He literally...
He, like, wrote the report.
You have one job?
He's like, just show up in proper attire, and I will do everything else.
Yeah.
And Annie showed up in Birkenstocks.
He's like, what are you doing?
I, like, literally, at that point, like, I knew you. Like, we were friends at the time.
Yeah.
But Pat and I had music together. Or was he in the music class, or did he just... We were in band together.
Right.
And I remember him just coming to me like, she just had one job. She had one job. All she had to do was show up with closed-toed shoes.
Yeah. I had an attachment to my Bergs. Poor guy.
That's funny, an attachment to your Bergs. Yikes.
I think he also tried to convince the teacher just to dock me points.
Instead of him. That sounds like Patrick.
Which I agreed with. I'm like, listen, it's my fault.
True. That's funny. But yeah, that teacher caused me a lot of anxiety when it came to that.
Yeah, no doubt.
But other than that, I would say like high school wasn't terrible other than like my eating disorder thing.
Yeah.
At the end of high school. And then college, I had that panic attack. And then college, I got like very... I just lost like all of my confidence, which made me anxious in like everything.
Yeah.
So like even like going to class, like I didn't go to some of my classes because I would be like anxious about it. And then like I never raised my hand because like I was like, oh, I'm probably going to be wrong. Like I was just so nervous all the time.
Yeah.
And then I just feel like I didn't put myself out there in post-secondary because I was just anxious all the time.
That makes sense.
So, like, the way I was in high school of being like, hey, like, I'm Shay, how are you? Like, what's your name? Never did that in college. Yeah. So, and I don't regret it because I think I'm a better person now because of it. Mm-hmm. But, like, I do kind of wish, like, I don't feel like I got, like, my full college experience because I held myself back so much because of how anxious I was all the time.
I agree. I think I was the same. I definitely didn't have the full, like, you know.
Yeah.
Didn't have like that thing where like people would go to like parties every weekend and just drink.
I
also,
did
that's
that,
not really my thing anyway.
I did that, but then I would cry the next day.
Yeah, alcohol
for like
does
hours.
That. Yeah, I was pretty much an anxious mess from the ages of 13 to 20.
Yeah.
Maybe 21.
Yeah.
Really? Push it back a bit more.
Oh, I was also having the panic attacks. I have panic attacks during sex sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So I was also having those a lot in college.
Yeah.
Pretty frequently in college. So that was rough. I think like the combination of that and just like not feeling like confident in myself caused like, it was never a problem like with my partner, but like it's not exactly sexy
To just be crying.
to just start crying in the middle of sex.
Yeah.
So yeah, it hasn't like been a regular thing for me for like since then. Because I actively make an effort for it not to be. But like I still get them here and there sometimes.
Yeah.
And usually it's more like when I'm stressed out with something else going on, then it kind of like stems from there. But yeah, I have those too, and it's just like all of a sudden you'll get like this overwhelming feeling, and then you'll just like start crying.
Right during sex.
Right in the middle of it, yeah.
That's horrible.
And then thankfully, like the people I've been with have been super understanding about it.
Yeah.
And like they are just very like, they deal with it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think like my ex was just like initially when it first started, because I couldn't communicate what was happening, he was just worried that he was like doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas like now that I know what happens, I was able to like communicate that to like my current partner
Yeah.
before it happened.
Which is good.
So like, cause like we started seeing each other, and then I was like, hey, just to let you know, this is a thing that could possibly happen at some point. I'm fine. I just might like need to take a minute.
Yeah.
To like
Pull
myself back together.
Yeah.
And like obviously then it's like like I can stop if I want to stop, obviously. Yeah. So yeah, so I haven't had that, like that when I was in college was happening on a relatively like regular basis for probably about a 6-month period.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I just couldn't figure out why it was happening.
Yeah.
Until I spoke to like a therapist, and then they were like, trauma. Yeah. So, and you don't even realize that that's like something that happened so long ago.
Yeah.
Could bring back
trauma like stays in your body, right?
Yeah.
Which is wild.
And that stuff is all about your body. So
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have to deal with it as much now, but I still have to like kind of keep it in check, because if I don't, then it can happen again. Also, like I'm getting a lot better at recognizing like what is causing it, and then how to like kind of work around that.
Yeah. I think it's important to just have like a really good support system around you that understands your anxiety. Yeah. Like when I was in university, my anxiety was so bad to the point where like I was turning down opportunities all the time. Like I wasn't really living my life. Yeah. Like you. And it was kind of frustrating me because I wanted to do those things, but I couldn't. Yeah. But then it would also get to the point where my anxiety was so bad. Yeah. That I wasn't doing anything and I wasn't spending time with my friends. Yeah. And like I found myself becoming a hindrance in other people's lives. And I never wanted that. Yeah. So then thankfully I got like better. Yeah. But I had a friend who anxiety literally consumed her life. She wouldn't do anything. She always worried about other people's opinions of her. Yeah. And she just wouldn't want to do anything. Yeah. And then having a friend like that is very difficult because you don't really know how to help them. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, then I kind of, like, saw it on the other end. Like, fuck, that was me. Yeah. And I never want to be that again. Because it's hard having a friend to deal with that. Yeah. I haven't really, I don't know, like, with my anxiety, like, even though I have panic attacks,
Maybe it's because I'm extroverted. I still just will kind of throw myself into situations, and then if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
And I kind of just am like, I try to deal with it now as it comes rather than worrying about it before it happens.
Yeah.
Because then otherwise I find it just either definitely will happen then, or like it'll make it worse.
Yeah.
So I try to just deal with it as it comes now, but like there was a time where I just like didn't want to do anything, like college mainly, like I just didn't want to do anything because of it. But like because it stems like from a lot of my stuff are like regular day things too. Like taking the subway gives me anxiety because like even though you're stopping at every stop, it's very nerve-wracking to me to be inside a closed space.
Yeah.
Where I don't feel like I can just get off if something were to happen. So then...
Is that also just like claustrophobia then?
I think so, yeah. Like I think that's a big part of it. But like if I'm... Like I've never really been in a situation where I've been in like a really small space. Like... so I don't really know if it has to do with like that.
Yeah.
But I would imagine it probably would. Like, Judah and I last night were talking about those, like they're like a chamber that you go in and like there's no sound, there's no light, like there's
I've
no,
seen those.
and it's supposed to be like really good for your body and like meditation and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
it like clears your mind and stuff.
It's dead silent.
It's dead silent. Like it's pitch black. Like you're in water that like allows you to float.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying to me.
That would scare me because of the deafening silence.
Literally the deafening silence. Like, to me, everything is just claustrophobic. Like, the whole idea of that, everything surrounding it is claustrophobic.
And the idea you're also in water.
Yeah. Like, it just, the whole, like, and then they close the door to the room. To me, the whole idea of it is just gives me so much. I don't think I could do it.
I don't think I could do that either.
Like, or like if like that's when I had the panic attack on the way to England. That was the other thing. I'm in a plane. I can't just get off when I want to, or if I need to, or if something were to happen, like it's pretty serious. Like you're in the air, like. So all of that like stems from the feeling of like being trapped and I can't leave when I want to leave.
There's a certain diagnosis of anxiety called that. Yeah. I can't remember what it is exactly, but it's the feeling of not being able to find an exit. Yeah. It's like the feeling that you're trapped and you can't find a way out of that.
And even if...
I'm going to look it up.
Even if... Like, it's happened to me once at the movies. Because even though there's exits... I feel like it's such an inconvenience to everybody if I have to leave. So then I start to get very like anxious about it. And it'll like just pop into your brain and then all of a sudden you're anxious and then you start kind of panicking.
It's agoraphobia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then, because I thought that was afraid to leave your house.
It's both. So it's fears keep you from getting out into the world. You avoid certain places and situations because you think that you'll feel trapped and not be able to get out. Yeah.
So that's like, and I think it also sometimes will cause me to be a procrastinator. Right. Like I've mentioned before, because I said like, if I see like 7 messages in my Instagram inbox, that's 7 conversations I'm now having. And if it's an easy, like, one-off message, it's fine. If I'm like, oh, this is going to be a conversation, then it's almost like I'm going to be trapped in this conversation now. Yeah. If I don't answer, then I don't have to be.
That's true. For me, that's an ADHD thing. Yeah. Because it's sensory overload. Yeah. And also you're putting a lot of mental effort into each conversation. Yeah. So I avoid it. Yeah. Because I don't want to do it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like, but I would say the main thing that like all of like my anxiety stems from is the feeling of feeling trapped. Yeah. In some thing.
Which is interesting. I definitely don't think that's then generalized anxiety. That's like a specific.
Probably.
Because I'm pretty sure I had social anxiety.
Yeah.
Mine was quite like that. Like, I always thought that other people were watching me.
I had that for a little bit when I left college.
Yeah, mine was during college. Like, I would more than likely want to sit at the back of the class.
Yeah.
Because I don't want someone looking at me.
Yeah.
Or I would, say if I was, like, in the middle of a lecture, like, in the middle pew, I wouldn't want to get up to go to the bathroom.
That's me at the movies.
Because I feel like then everybody's watching me and being like, oh my God, like, what's she doing? I'm like, I'm going to take a piss.
Yeah.
But I just don't like that feeling. I don't like the feeling of being singled out and, like, spectated on.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with now. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that now.
Yeah.
But I'm also, like, older, and I just know how to, like, cope more with that.
Yeah.
But that would really terrify me. Just, like, the idea of, like, someone just, like, watching me whilst, like, I get up.
Yeah.
Doing the thing that no one else is doing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Now, I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, I straight up, like, dance on the side of the subway sometimes.
Yeah.
And sing at the top of my lungs.
It's fine now.
Now it's not really an issue. The biggest thing, like, is, like, because even, like, standing up and going to the bathroom. Like, during Black Widow, I had to go to the bathroom. I held my pee for so long.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, if I get up, I have to, like, walk past people to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
and then I'm, like, inconveniencing. And then I'm like, I just get so anxious about it. Like, and I was like, I don't know why. Like,
I don't know what it is.
Because, like, if somebody else gets up to go to the bathroom,
you're like,
do I give a fuck?
Yeah.
No. Even if they have to walk past me, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why do I get so in my head? And then once it's over, then you're like, oh, why did I make such a big deal about that?
Literally, why did I stress so much about that?
Yeah. So, like, it's not a big deal, but when you're in the moment, it feels like such a big deal.
Yeah, because I used to, like, constantly live in my head thinking, like, I'm literally the center of everyone's world. Not in, like, an egotistical way.
Yeah.
But the point to where I'm like, everyone is literally watching every single thing I do and the next move I make.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to judge me on it.
Yeah.
I constantly think that, but, like, if you turn it around, I don't give a damn about Jerry in the fourth row.
Yeah.
I do not care.
Yeah, unless Jerry's being fucking weird.
Then it's a problem.
That's the only time.
Because, like, now I've switched that mindset into thinking, no one cares.
Yeah.
About anything.
Yeah.
No one cares. But that took me, like, 10 years to figure that out, and therapy and medication.
I think it's also just, like, maturing as well.
It's
like,
definitely maturing.
As you get older, like, you just are, like, you start to just gives your, like, less and less fucks about stuff.
And I think your priorities shift in life.
Yeah. So, like me, like, if I fall now, although, like, it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
Realistically, what could I have done to prevent that fall?
Yeah.
Realistically, probably nothing. Like, it's just me being kind of clumsy.
Yeah.
That's the only... Like, I can't prevent that from happening.
I know. It's so weird.
So then it's like, well, I can choose to be embarrassed about this. Or I can just pick up my shit and keep going.
Yeah.
Like...
That's it. I used to have a fear of, like, if seagulls were around me, one would shit on me.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't know what to do in that situation.
I mean, you just clean it, no?
Yes. But then I'm thinking, like, other people are like, oh my God, she has shit on her head. How gross. But, like, obviously.
Yeah. Again, it's like you can't control that.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't really worry about it that much.
No. It's definitely easier said than done.
Yeah.
But I don't worry about that shit anymore. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
At all.
I just, like, when I had the manifesto one, I got on the subway to go to work.
Yeah.
And it was my first day working at Manifesto. So that's a fat yikes already. So I get on the subway, and then I'm like... I was going all the way to, like, Islington. And I, at the time, was living at Kennedy. So we're talking, like, the full
line one.
The full line one.
Line 2.
Yeah. Full line 2.
Line 2.
So I'm going all the way to the other side of Toronto. So I get on the train, and I'm, like, halfway. And And I just start to feel very overwhelmed. It was busy that day, like relatively busy. And I also like usually travel on the subway, like not at busy times. Because then there's not as many people. Not because of COVID, just because I don't want to
be in people's shit.
Super like close to everybody. Unless I have to, and then usually I'm okay. But I'm usually not on like that long. So yeah. So then I'm on the subway. I'm about halfway. I think I'm at like Broadview or something like that. And I start to feel overwhelmed, very lightheaded. So I'm like, I'm just going to get off because I can tell something's coming on. Yeah. And it's just better if I get off. So I get off at Broadview. I like step out. I get to like the bottom of like the staircase, like leading up, and I pass out. And I'm on the subway, like, platform. Yeah. Passed out. I don't even know how long I was out for. I don't think it was very long. Yeah. But I just fully fall to the ground. And thankfully, 2 women came over and helped. And, like, sat me up because I was, like, laying face down on the fucking subway platform. Disgusting. And they, like, sat me up and, like, had, like... one of them, like, gave me water, like a water bottle. One of them gave me a banana. Like, they're just, like, giving me, like, food. Like, and I didn't know, like, I knew that it was because of anxiety, but, like, I didn't know what to do to make it better. Yeah. So I was like, fuck, like, what do I do in this situation? So then, of course, because I've passed out on the subway platform, one of the ladies goes and gets, like, the worker, the TTC worker. Right. And they come down and they're like, oh, like, legally I have to call an ambulance for you and everything. And I was like, oh, God. I was like, I have to go to work. Like, what do you mean? Like, so then literally the ambulance comes, like, they check me out and they were like, okay, they do the whole spiel of, like, everything seems okay. Like, if you're feeling fine, you can go to work if you want to. Mm-hmm. But they were like, my blood pressure was, like, pretty low. Yeah. They were like, it's not low enough that we have to take you to the hospital. But they were like, it's pretty close. Mm-hmm. So they were like, you need to, like, make the decision on your own on whether you want to go to the hospital or not. So I chose not to go to the hospital because I was like, fuck that. Yeah. I don't want to go to the hospital. I also don't like hospitals, really. Just really not a fan. Yeah. I feel like most people aren't really fans of hospitals. No. So it was like, if I don't have to, no, I'm not going. So then I did call work and be like, yeah, sorry, like, there's been, like, an incident and I can't, like, I'm going to be late. Mm-hmm. So then I show up and I'm frazzled. Like, I think I'm pretty sure, like, I'm still pale, even though, like, I've been on the subway now for, like, an extra hour. Yeah. So I'm still, like, pale, and, like, I get in, and I bought food, like, at the place so I could, like, try and get my blood pressure up a little bit. Yeah. And I ate, and then I just, like, came in, and they were like, are you okay? Like, is everything okay? And I was like, I'm really sorry. Like, I was like, and then I had to tell them, like, so that they didn't think I was just, like, slacking. Yeah. So I said, like, and this was, like, I hadn't started at Manifesto yet. I was doing, like, training before. Right. So I was, like, it was still, like, with all the people that I was going to be working with at Manifesto, except, like, my higher-ups. But it was all the people that were this, like, on the same level as me that I was working with day in, day out at Manifesto. So I come in, and it's just, like, the lady there. Like, I'm not with the group yet. And they were like, are you okay? And I was like, oh, yeah. Like, I'm really sorry. Like, I had, like, a problem. And I'm, like, trying to beat around the bush. And I'm like, and they were like, oh, okay. And they just, like, I could tell, like, I just needed to tell them. So I was just like, yeah, like, I fainted, like, on the subway. I'm okay now, though. Like, I'm here and I'm good. Like, now I just, like, pass out. And I, like, tried to be like, yeah, like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's fine. Because I didn't want them to, like, think, because they were like, oh, you fainted? Like, are you okay? Like, and I was like, no. Like, I'm fine now. Like, it's fine. And then I walked in, like, late to, like, this thing. And everybody's looking at me like, why is she late? Like, and then And then, like, a few days, like, into this thing, they, like, it kind of was brought up again. Yeah. And I don't remember how it was brought up, but it was brought up, like, in conversation. And now I'm, like, kind of friends with these people. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, yeah, no. Like, I was like, I just fainted, like, on the subway. Yeah. Like, and then they were like, oh my gosh, like, wait, what? They were like, you still came in after? I was like, yeah, no, I was fine. Like, and then I just basically had to be like, yeah, I have anxiety, like, on the subway. So, and then they were like, oh my gosh, like, geez, like, are you okay? Like, like, and then I was like, no, like, I'm okay. Like, it just gets to be, like, it was just at the time. Yeah. Like, it was okay. And then because it had become a routine, like, after that, I was okay. Mm-hmm. But it was that initial, like, I'm going from one side of Toronto to the other side of Toronto on a train, where I'm, like, enclosed in a train.
So, like, it was all kind of, it was a lot going on.
Yeah, and it was, like, a new space where I'm going to as well, so.
If that had happened now, would you have not gone in?
I think so. I think I wouldn't have gone in that day.
Yeah, because also I know that you like to people please.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that your job is also very important to you.
Yeah.
So I think you, like, regardless.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm going in.
Yeah.
But I feel like you now wouldn't have gone in.
No, probably not. I also used to be, like, a heavy workaholic.
Yeah.
And I'm really trying not to be that anymore. Mm-hmm. Even though me having, like, 5 side projects.
You just gotta put some boundaries in place.
Yeah, I really am trying to not have it, like, have work be, like, I don't want my work to be me. Yeah. Like, I want to have other things that I do outside, just, like, work.
Like, I used to be worried, not because I didn't want to call into work and think, like, oh my God, they think I'm such, like, a lazy worker. Yeah. They think I'm a piece of shit. But I'm like, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go work in a job where it's, like, extremely physical.
Yeah. And
feel like shit the whole time. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go in.
Yeah, but kind of like we were talking about earlier, like, that's kind of how North America is. Yeah. Like, North America is very much like, if you're not busting your ass even at your minimum wage job,
you're
like,
lazy.
You're lazy. And then, like, I had worked, like, 2 jobs where I fucking busted my ass day after day after day to get literally the bare minimum. Yeah. Sometimes less than the bare minimum. Mm-hmm. And it just, like, that's what I was used to. And then going to Manifesto, I had, like, a really great team at Manifesto. Yeah. Especially my, like, boss, like, my major, the person that I work directly with most of the time, I feel like he wouldn't mind if I said his name, but Nabil, like, he was so great. Like, he was very, like, he never made me feel like shit about things. Like, even if I didn't know how to do something, like, he was very, like, willing to teach me things. And then, like, there was literally one day, like, I went in and I felt like shit. Like, I felt so shitty. And all of the work that I was doing at Manifesto, I can do from home. Mm-hmm. But I would go in most days. And I was working downtown, and I was living in Scarborough. So that was, like, a 45-minute to an hour bus, like, transit for me every day. Mm-hmm. So I went in. I was on my period. And I, like, typically would go in, like, looking nice. Like, I would have my makeup done. Like, I would look presentable to go into work. And on this particular day, like, I still looked, like, presentable, but I didn't put makeup on because I was like, I don't want to. Like, I feel like trash. Like, I don't want to do my makeup. So I didn't do my makeup. And then, like, I was kind of wearing, like, more comfier clothes because I'm on my period and I'm, like, bloated and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I had a meeting with him and somebody else, and then the other person left the meeting, and he just goes, I was like, yeah, okay, so, like, to move on to the next stuff we need to talk about, because I'm always, like, very, like, work. Yeah. Like, right? And he was like, okay, before we start, how are you? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm fine. Like, I was like, this is the stuff we need to talk about. Like, and he goes, yeah, but, like, how are you actually? Mm. Like, he was like, because he was like, I know you're here and you're working, you're doing a great job, but he was like, I think you seem a little tired today. Yeah. And I was like, oh, like, am I not doing a good job? And he goes, no, you're doing fine. Like, you're doing a good job. But, like, he was like, I feel like you are tired today. Yeah. And I was like, I'm feeling a little drained today. And he was like, okay. So he's like, we'll finish this meeting and then go home. And I was like, pardon? Like, He was like, if you have anything else you have to do today, he was like, you can do it from home. He was like, if not, take the rest of the day off.
Yeah.
And it was so mind-boggling to me.
That, like, wait, you
to
can
work
do
for
that.
somebody who would be so willing to put my health above anything else.
Yeah.
And he was just like, no, like, he's like, you always do a good job. If you can, literally just take the rest of the day off. He's like, you are always, and I was like always there working. I always spent extra time on everything. Like, and it was literally just, he was like, I was on my period and I was feeling very drained, and he was literally just like, take the rest and I took the rest of the day off, and I felt so much better. Like, and that's like basically what he was like, if you need to take like the time off, take it off, because he was like, I would rather than you come in feeling like rejuvenated and ready to go, then like, he was like, even though you still do a good job, he's like, I don't want you hating this job.
Yeah, there's no point in like working stressed out because you're not going to get the job done well.
Yeah. Or you're just going to like hate life.
Yeah.
Doing it that way.
Just chill out.
So, yeah, like, it was very, like, wild to me to work for somebody. Do you hear her?
No.
We'll probably be wrapping up soon.
Yeah.
Anyway. But, like, it was so wild to me to work for somebody who just straight up.
She's crying a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know why. She's been out, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's just being dramatic.
But yeah, it was just wild to me to work for somebody who, like, was so open to, like, putting my needs, like, needs, above, like, my, like, work.
Yeah.
Because, like, when it comes down to it, like, if you're not mentally or physically well, you can't do a good job at the job.
No, I don't think so.
So,
and I think if more employers were like that, I think their employees would be a lot happier.
Happier and just like more, like, it made me want to work more.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was like on a weekend when I wasn't supposed to work, I would be like, yeah, sure, like, I'll come in for an event.
Yeah.
No problem. Because I feel good. Like, I feel fine. I've had the time to sleep and rest and stuff like that when I need it.
Yeah.
So
life isn't all about working.
No.
Like, you need money.
You do need money, obviously.
But I think you have to somehow find a healthy balance, or else you're just going to be miserable when everything's done.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to work your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank you.
So how did you find then, like, what do you feel that you've done now to help with your anxiety?
I think mainly maturing. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm 23 now. I think I just know what I want to do in life.
Yeah.
A lot of my anxiety came from, like, uncertainty of what I wanted in life.
Yeah.
Like, I was really just nervous about the future. Like, I'm always thinking about the future.
Yeah.
Now I just try and live in the present. Mm-hmm. Because, like, if you're constantly thinking about the future, you're gonna forget the present and not enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Which is what was happening to me all through high school and as a kid, because now I've repressed a lot of memories.
Yeah.
I don't remember half of my childhood.
Yeah.
That could also just because of trauma.
Yeah.
But I was always thinking of the next step, and I was never actually living in the moment.
Yeah.
So now I do that. I don't have anxiety medication anymore. Therapy helped a lot.
Yeah.
And I've just found, like, breathing techniques if I ever have a panic attack again.
Yeah.
Just breathing techniques have helped me.
Yeah.
But I haven't had a panic attack in a while. Like a crazy panic attack was, like, university.
Yeah, even the ones, like, that I've had of recent haven't been as extreme as they once were. I think same, like, breathing techniques help a lot. Also, like, there was one I think you told me about. Either you or Cass. Both of you are, like, very good with, like, giving me ideas to help with situations.
Yeah.
Like, Cass gave me the fact versus fiction thing.
Yeah.
But the thing of, like, I think it was you, but when it starts to come on and you start to, like, get in your head a lot about it, like, for example, when I was, like, at the theater that one time and we went to go see the new Star Wars movie, Judah and I, and then I started to be like, oh, it's a huge theater. Like, if I need to leave, I don't know if I can, like, right away. Like, I don't know if something were to happen, if I can get out. Like, that started to happen. And I started to feel myself, like, get that cold sweat and, like, start to have trouble breathing. And I, like, leaned forward, and then to stop myself from fainting, I try and put my head close to my knees, right? So your blood doesn't have to go, like, as far. But you had said to just take note of all the physical things that are happening. Like, the texture of the chair, or, like, your feet being planted on the ground, or, like, then check your breathing, or, like, the lights are on, or like things like that. Like, take check of, like, physical things around you to get your brain kind of away from that.
Yeah.
That helps me a lot.
Yeah, because you're so wrapped up in what's going on mentally.
Yeah.
You need to be able to focus on what's going around you in your environment. Because you've left that environment. You're now straight in your head thinking, like, oh my God, like, this is going to happen. This is the worst thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But you have to just take note of, like, okay, like, I feel my chest, like, restricting. This is because of this. But, like, also notice the things in the environment. And usually it takes your mind away from...
Yeah.
For me, anyway, it does that for me.
Yeah.
But everyone has a different approach to, like, getting rid of panic attacks. Deep breathing helps a lot. But you have to have your feet planted firmly on the ground to really get the deep breathing going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just, like, centering yourself again.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, if, like, with... Usually when mine happens, I'm, like, in public with people, fortunately. But if there's somebody there with me, usually I feel, like, more secure. Yeah. Because then, like, if I can't pull myself out of it, like, sometimes they can. Like, even when, as soon as, like, I leaned forward to put my head close to my knees, like, I started doing that. Like, I put my hand on either side of the chair and started rubbing the chair. And I was like, oh, this is the texture of the chair. And then as soon as that happened, Judah, like, leaned forward and was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just, like, feeling hot. And he was like, okay. And then I was still, like, I think he could tell because my breathing had picked up as well. And then he just started, like, rubbing my back. Yeah. And, like, the combination of him, like, not panicking and rubbing my back and then using that technique pulled me out of it, and I was fine.
I tend to, like, take my thumb and, like, rub my hand. For, like, in my therapist suggested for me, self-soothing helps. So, like, if I feel myself getting anxious or overwhelmed, I either, like, rub my chest and do some circles.
Oh, I've seen you do that.
Yeah, or, like, you can, like, hug yourself. Yeah. But I mainly do the hand thing or twisting rings. Yeah. I'm big on, like, I'm a fidgety person. Yeah. To begin with, but when my anxiety comes in, I'm way more fidgety. So I have to kind of, like, control that somehow. So I have fidgeting rings that help. Just anything to, like, twiddle with, and it takes my mind off what I'm actually going through.
Yeah, I also, like, the fidgeting that you have, I don't find to be, like, super...
noticeable?
No. I mean, unless you, like... slam your hand on the wall. That's the only one that, like, kind of takes me off guard sometimes. So other than that, like, I like fiddling with your hands or something, like, doesn't really, like, I don't notice stuff like that. Yeah,
it definitely helps me. Like, I don't know, it's just you have to pull yourself out or else you're just gonna, like,
it's just gonna spiral.
You're just gonna get worse and worse.
Yeah
It takes time though.
Yeah. That and then, like, the fact versus fiction thing, I would say, like, are the two things that help me the most. Yeah. And then usually I find, like, when I start doing the, like, recognizing things around me, then that's when I'm able to, like, my breathing starts to slow, and then I'm able to catch on to, like, okay, deep breathing now.
Yeah, that's true. And even, like, to start to I didn't want, I mean, like, you can't not, but I didn't want to be anxious anymore. Like, I didn't want anxiety to, like, control my life. Yeah. Because it was getting really bad. Yeah. So when I found an intrusive thought coming in saying, like, if I was in a lecture or whatever, and I'm like, I have to pee, but I don't want to stand up. As soon as I got that thought, I would stand up. Yeah. I would literally just shoot up and be like, okay,
I'm up now.
I'm up.
You might as well.
Might as well. Yeah. So I just do it. I do it without thinking. Yeah. Like, it's just second nature now. Obviously, don't do it if it's, like, an intrusive thought to the point where it's, like, you know, life-threatening. Nothing like that. Yeah. But, like, if you're, like, scared about, I don't know, going into a grocery store, just doing something, just do it.
Just do it.
Like, just somehow try and turn off that part of your brain where it's like stopping you from wanting to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I just say, fuck it.
Yeah.
I have to do it. I have to do this appointment today, so I'm just going to get up and walk and move my body.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes like, you know, second nature.
Yeah.
Like autopilot.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I feel that. But yeah, that's pretty much sums up like our talk. Do you have anything else to add about anxiety?
I don't think so. I think we like covered everything.
Yeah, we're also not like professionals, so
No.
you like if you feel like you have anxiety, speak to a professional about it. We're just kind of sharing like how like experiences we have had with it and kind of things that have worked for us. So if you think you have anxiety, speak to a professional.
Yeah.
We might be able to find some links. That
Yeah,
might
I
help.
can try and find some.
We'll put it in the link tree. If you can't, again, if they're not there, we couldn't find any.
Yeah, and I just think if you are in a place where you feel your anxiety is getting worse,
Yeah.
you need to go and speak to someone because you don't want anxiety to take over your life.
Yeah. Even like just speaking to a friend about it, they've probably had some kind of experience with it as well, and they might be able to relate. And that even just like having a support system that can be a bit more understanding makes you feel less alone with it.
Yeah, because a lot of people have anxiety.
Yeah, literally, I feel like everybody has it in some sort of way on like different levels.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like even freaking the anxiety of like about climate change, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
That
like,
terrifies me.
Yeah. Things like the future and like things like that. Jeffrey Bezos gives me anxiety. Like
With his penis rocket.
Yeah, just launching into space. Like, yeah.
Not good.
There's a lot. But yeah, try not to get overwhelmed by it. And if you are feeling overwhelmed by it, like reach out to a professional and speak to like your support system.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, definitely. You won't regret it at the end of
No.
it. And if you do speak to somebody who doesn't really get it, try somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, don't feel discouraged, because there are going to be some people that might not understand.
No, definitely talk to a therapist.
Yeah.
Or a professional. Your doctor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then you can go from there.
Yeah, because you want to live your life to the fullest. You don't want to be pulled back by, like, some stupid, like, mental restraint. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all for today, friends. Hope you're having a lovely week.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Bye, friends.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about to feel.